yeah. Final synopsis. What can you say about the best
trilogy
ever? The best 12-hour movie that's ever been made. I think it's working.
We'll see.
I honestly have no idea, I think it's working.
One day we'll get this all squared away, don't you think?
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, so I did yesterday. How's your fitness been?
Fitness has been okay. I've only been able to get to like the Wendler stuff that we programmed. I found a spreadsheet online, and so we did our maxes 2 weeks ago, and then we just kind of been following it. So Monday, Tuesdays, and then Thursday, Fridays.
And that was when you PR'd your back squat?
Yeah.
Nice.
That was nice. That was shocking. I was surprised.
That's always fun.
Yeah. I was like, I don't really work out anymore. I don't work out as regularly as I was. I need to throw in some WODs in there.
Yeah.
Melissa's really good about it. Like, you see up on the board, she had her stuff.
Yeah.
And so I guess Beyond the Whiteboard changed.
I actually like it.
I like it. It's cleaner. I like the little images that like move, right? Yeah. She was having some difficulty logging stuff in for like the macros.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Like custom stuff.
Yeah.
And then she was all mad because it locks you, like, from analyzing your thing if you don't have enough.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I don't know my fitness level. She's a super nerd about it, right? And so she found one, and so she did, is it 14.3? It's up on the board over there. And so it was an 8-minute AMRAP.
What was that? Deadlifts, box jumps.
Yeah, and then it just increasing weight on deadlifts and
gotcha.
Increasing reps on
box
on
jumps.
them as well. No, box jumps stays.
Yeah. Okay.
And so she's like, she picked something because it's a heavy.
Yeah.
And she's, she doesn't have a whole lot of heavies.
Right.
And so she picked something that she knew that, like, it was quick and that she would get time capped fairly early on, right? And so once she hit the 185, she had like 30 seconds, and I was like, try to pick it up. She's like, 185 is my max. I'm like, well, then pick it up one time.
Yeah, get it once.
But she like went to lift it,
and no
go. Yeah,
that was a nope.
That was a nope. So she's good about programming things, and I'm not. Yeah. Or like not programming things, but just like finding things that she
grabbing
does.
Something and doing it.
Yeah. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I tried to do one that I did at the gym a while ago, or not too long ago actually. It was like, it's a double under push jerk, but it was like 50 double unders, 25 push jerk, or shoulder to overheads.
Oh, okay.
And so like I went to do it, and I was just like, nah, I don't like the double unders weren't there. I wasn't feeling it. I remembered doing it, and I was going, oh, I fucking hate this one.
Yeah, if you guys had wall balls, you could have done the one that we did yesterday easily.
Yeah,
it was fucking mean. Like I said, like, I don't think my legs have been this. Like, we rode 42,000 meters, and my legs did not feel like this. Yeah. Like the thrusters wrecked my legs. Like, just.
I hate thrusters.
I think. Yeah.
95-pound thrusters, like
are the worst thing on the planet.
Yeah, they're the worst thing on the planet. Like, I've gotten to the point like where I was able to like RX certain things. Like, I suck like at pull-ups. I still can't do that, right? So I can't RX like pull-up workouts. But like weights, like I was able to, like, pre-pandemic,
right? I
was easily able to not easily, but like I was able to do most workouts RX, and then it's like then you stop getting into the rhythm of things, and it's just like, I did that.
But like my thing with thrusters is like, it doesn't matter what the workout is, if it has thrusters in it, I get anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm just like, this is gonna be bad. Like, I just know that this is gonna be, and I know like 95 pounds, like. So yesterday, we did clean and jerk. We tried to find 1 rep max clean and jerk. I hit 235, right? So going to my shoulders and going overhead with 95 pounds shouldn't be that hard.
Right.
But it really, really is.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
It's the
damn hard.
It's because it's. Well, were you squat cleaning? I'm assuming. At
Yeah.
235.
I can't power clean that.
But it's also the thrusters is like it's one movement.
Yeah.
It's a flow.
And you're
right?
bringing it back down and then back up
Yeah.
and then back down.
Yeah.
And so, it's the same movement, but yeah. So
It's the same movement, but it's not the same
Yeah.
movement. Because you're not sitting here. You're.
Well, in the first round, I was like, okay, I'm going to go into this workout. There's no way in hell I'm doing, like, sets of 10. Like, I know that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to do sets of 5, 20 minutes of a 200-meter run and 20 thrusters, as many times as you can, right?
Wall ball run, right?
Yeah, wall ball run. So I had a 20-pound wall ball as well. But it was just one of those things where it was like, I can do 5. Like, I can always do 5 thrusters. So I put that in, and 2 rounds in, I was like, nope, I'm doing 4. So I changed to 5 sets of 4 instead of 4 sets of 5.
Yeah.
Like 2 rounds in, because I was like, even 5 thrusters is just wrecking me.
Yeah.
Like, it was destroying me. It hurt so much.
What was that open workout? It was a year before the pandemic, but it was like Super Fran almost. It had an extra round.
No, it had 2 extra rounds. It started at 30.
Yeah.
What was it? 30 something, and went down from there because it was like 32, 27, 21, 15, 9, or something like that. And it was regular. It was thrusters and pull-ups. Maybe it was chest to bar.
No, I thought.
Was it just regular Super Fran?
Maybe it was chest to bar.
I can't remember.
And so I did that one, obviously modified because can't do pull-ups. I'm not going to do chest to bars.
Right.
Even though at that competition I got one
chest to bar.
I think she was being generous.
You did it. You did it.
She was being
was
generous.
Great. I have a picture of that.
No, there's no actual proof of that actually happening. Yeah,
God, I wish more of that existed.
I just remember just being gassed, and I had challenged Melissa. Like, I had called her out for the house cup one? Part. Yeah, and she just fucking wiped the floor
wrecked.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's workouts that like I did, like that one that I did with Austin that I called out Austin on, the dumbbell thruster.
Oh yeah.
Pull up double under or toes to bar. Dumbbell thruster, toes to bar, double under workout. I actually think I could beat him now because I can easily string 10 toes to bar together.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to at the time, like because it was 7 toes to bar that you had to do, and my max was like 5.
Oh.
And so like I wasn't able to go unbroken on that, but like on the double unders and the thrusters, it was 4. I think it was only 4 thrusters, so it was super easy.
For which one?
It was thrusters, toes to bar, double under. And it was a 20-minute AMRAP.
Yeah.
Like, you did 4 dumbbell thrusters, 7 toes to bar, and like, I don't know, 18 or 20 double unders. It wasn't a high number.
It wasn't, actually, no, I saw it the other day. I think when I was looking for Melissa, because she was like, she was trying to figure out which one to do. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, it was great.
That was another one where I called out Melissa.
Oh, really?
And she came. She came one night to class, and I was doing barbell, and she came just to practice her double unders. It was the day before, and she was so mad that I'd called her out.
Oh, that's
because she couldn't do double unders at up to that point. At that time, and so then the next day, we were in the morning class, and I'm feeling really confident because I've been able to do double unders for a while.
Right.
And
you're like, I got this. And then she starts doing it, and then she's just going through double unders.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm like right next to her going, the fuck, man? Like the one thing.
This is not fair.
Yeah, the one thing that I could that I could beat you at.
Oh man.
And you're able to do them now all of a sudden when like 6 hours ago, you were here at the gym and you were all mad because you couldn't do them.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about?
Huh.
Speaking, staying on the lines of fitness, greatest of all time. He said he's done.
Oh yeah, I know.
Matt Fraser.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm gonna unpopular opinion or statement. I'm excited that he's.
Oh no. I actually think that's popular.
Yeah.
Like listening to people, there are a lot of people like I am. Are you kidding me? This is the first time in like 8 years that you can look at the men's side of the CrossFit Games and say, who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
I mean, you think like the 4-year dynasty that Rich had.
Yeah.
There was 1 year in between that people were like, well, it's probably either going to be Matt or Ben. There wasn't a big, like, who's going to be it, you know, and then Ben won.
Yeah.
And then 5 years of Matt winning.
Yeah.
And, like, not just, like, winning, but, like
destroying the competition.
Yeah, like, there was absolutely no question.
Yeah.
Like,
there was not last year, but the year before was the 1 year where it almost
and that was because of fucked up scoring. That had nothing to do with Matt being a good athlete or not.
What do you mean the scoring?
The scoring was completely different. They changed that.
Oh,
year.
That's right.
They eliminated people. They
That's
changed
right.
the scoring around because he still had like 3 more first place finishes than Noah Olsen, even though Noah was close to beating him overall.
Yeah.
Noah's a fucking joke. I hope you watch this, Noah.
He's a Tolkien fan.
I don't think he is. I just don't like him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never like. We try to watch it this year. I like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't like him because he went. Like, I don't like Tom Brady. I hope Tom Brady loses today.
Right.
You know, but I don't care about the Super Bowl because I don't care about the Chiefs either. But
Yeah,
I
don't care.
I prefer them over Tom Brady because
Right.
Tom Brady's always there.
Right.
And it's just like I want to see something different.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing. And like I remember, or I was listening to Tommy Marquez on Talking Elite Fitness, and he was talking about how like a lot of people feel that way, especially with like Matt.
Yeah.
And like the dynasty that he's basically had. Where
and it's also go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's where he like. It's not just that he always won the games. If he showed up to a competition, either Matt Fraser was winning the competition or he wasn't there.
Right.
And that was any competition that he showed up to. It wasn't like in golf where they showed up and like won the Masters over and over. No, it was every single time they got on the green they were winning. Yeah. Like it was something like that.
Every tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be like every tournament that Tiger ever plays in.
He won.
He was winning, and not even by close. Like it wasn't even close.
This last game, he won first place and third place technically, or fourth place. So if you take the amount, so his overall score in the games, and you make him tie with Samuel Quant, who was second place. So you take away all those points and make him tie with Samuel Quant, still gives him first place because he got more first place finishes in individual events. So he still wins first place. All of those leftover points was enough to beat Noah Olsen by 5 points. What? Come on.
Yeah, it's
so he's done.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not fun to watch.
And good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Like his work ethic. Like this is not, it's not to like diminish his work ethic. That's a hard word to say. Not to diminish that, but also like part of his like goodbye like address or whatever you want to call it was like, oh, now the real Matt can come out. It's like you could have been a little bit like the real Matt, like and not be like you're kind of a dick.
Yeah, and
right.
I think that was just his sport mentality though. Like he thought that's what he had to do.
Yeah,
And you're right.
But
he didn't need to.
No, you don't need to, and it's hubris, I think. And it's just like you're good. Clearly, you are better than everybody else out there.
Yeah. There is not a soul. Like it's one of those things where like we'll look at this like 10 years from now, and there'll still not have been anybody that'll be like him.
No.
And it will look back at it and be like, that was just insane.
Yeah.
Like had he and I
he's the best at thruster races.
Yeah, well, and like he even so I was watching a Buttery Bros episode, and they were talking to him, and apparently like he was talking about a dream that he had, and this was like a month before he announced his retirement, so it was pretty recently.
Yeah.
But he said that he had this dream where he was like living in this tiny apartment again, and like he was having to like do some like I can't even remember what he was saying. He was doing some awful job like working and stuff, and he was talking to somebody, and he was like, no, like I know that I made money, like I was really good at exercising really fast. I made a lot of money doing that. He's like, and in my dream everybody was like, you're crazy, people don't make money exercising fast. And it's just like it's just funny.
Yeah.
But he's done, and like I honestly, I love the way that he went out, and a little bit of me, like, kind of also loves the fact that it's, like, even with him retiring, it kind of fucks over the rest of the guys.
How so?
Because they will, in anybody who follows the sport, whoever wins this year, in our minds, will have an asterisk next to their name and say, but if Matt was there, they wouldn't have won.
But then can't you say that about Matt right now? I mean, Rich retired.
He's better than Rich.
And like, but we don't know. We don't know.
We do. When it comes to numbers, that's like saying that, like, because if you look at the sport that like Larry Bird was playing versus the sport of basketball now,
yeah,
and the differences there.
All I'm saying is, you could say the same thing about Matt. I don't think it's going to diminish.
And people do say the same thing about Matt. I think it's garbage because it's a completely different world. The stuff that Matt's doing versus what like, and that's the other thing. Rich didn't always win.
Yeah.
Rich rarely won individual events. He just happened to skim by and get enough points at the very end. So like, look, not diminishing Rich. Rich is amazing at what he does.
But if they were both competing at the same time, you don't think Rich would put in a little bit more effort?
I think it could be.
I think it could have it would have been easily more interesting.
Yes.
If you had Rich and Matt at the same time.
I think it could be a better
competition.
Race.
Yeah,
a better competition.
Then it's a competition.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Then it's not just the Matt Fraser show.
Right.
Featuring guys you don't know.
Which is now
featuring, swolled up Ron Weasley from Canada, right?
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran. So, I don't know. I don't think it's for everyone else who's left, right?
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be good for them.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be good for the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
But T has stepped into that role now too.
And that's the thing, is like I was going to say that is, as much as I hate Matt winning, I don't mind Tia winning as much as she does. Even though she does the same thing and just
dominates.
Yeah, just cleans everybody's clocks.
Yeah.
Right? She's just, it's just her personality is more likable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's not, I don't know. It's just, you don't.
I mean, I like Matt, but I've watched a lot of behind the scenes stuff with Matt.
Yeah.
Like with the Buttery Bros and stuff like that. And like he has gotten a little bit more loose. Like 2016, 2017, like even in the games, documentaries and stuff, it was definitely like, this guy smells
his own farts and likes it.
Yeah, like it's like this. He's really like, I don't know. There's something weird about him and stuff. But the more I've seen like in 2019, 2020, like him doing more interviews and stuff like that, I'm like, nah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. But it's like,
and he doesn't love Jesus.
Well, he just ticked up a little bit in my book.
Yeah. Fucking rich in his shoes, his Galatians.
God damn it.
I wanted to like those Rich Froning shoes so bad, and then it had that goddamn scripture on there.
Well, you were like, "Oh, it doesn't have it." So,
I know.
And then
Melissa found it.
Yeah, Melissa pointed it out. She's like, "Yeah, it does."
It's right on the tag of the tongue. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
But yeah. So, running back to fitness, since we already talked about the king leaving and the queen just sticking around. Like she's she's doing bobsled, but I don't think she's going anywhere.
I was about to say something about that.
Yeah, I don't think
she's not going to lead. No.
You can do both.
How many? She's going for her fifth.
She's going for her fifth. So she wants. I mean, I'm hoping that Matt's like tie me.
Yeah.
Get more than me. Do it. Like she's young enough.
Yeah.
Like I think she's like 6 years younger than Matt, because Matt's 32, and I think she's like 26, 27.
Yeah.
It's insane. Also, like, I do love that. And again, this is still kind of off topic, but let's talk about strong women for a minute.
Yeah.
I feel like CrossFit, especially for women, has shown that the idea of sports capacity capping at a certain age, CrossFit has just thrown that out the window.
Yeah.
Because for females, they're like, oh yeah, like 18, 20. She's fucking 27. Find me somebody that's fitter than her at 20 years old.
Yeah.
Good luck.
27's not that old, though.
It's not. But when you think about the way that like sports used to look, it was like that was past your prime at that point. People said that was past your prime, especially for a female.
No.
That's why gymnasts. That's why like Olympic gymnasts are like 14 to 16 years old.
Gymnasts.
Right, but I'm saying like that was just a thing.
What other thing is comparable to it? I guess
to CrossFit.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like the only other people that I would say like in the realm of strong fit women, after the age of 22, like a college age, that people would say were still in their prime were the volleyball.
Oh yeah.
What were their names?
Are you talking about like Gabrielle Reese?
I don't know. It was the two people though.
Like beach volleyball.
Yeah, the beach volleyball girls.
Gabrielle Reese was one of them.
Was that her name?
Yeah.
Because it was the tall one, the tall blonde one with glasses, and then the other one. But anyway, they won like multiple Olympics, like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And they were, I think they were into their 30s by the time that they were done.
Yeah, and it could also be a like it's a wear and tear kind of situation. If you're competitive about it, right?
Right.
And if you're really good,
right, there's trade-offs.
You start really early, and by the time like you're 27, right?
Yeah.
You've been doing it for, let's say, 20 years.
And you're kind of wrecked at that point.
You're kind of wrecked at that point, and, then you're just kind of over it.
And I do think that that's gotten better throughout. I mean, where we're at now, we have more advances of keeping people healthy.
Yeah.
While still being highly competitive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think, she's gone the way of, I think, 5 other CrossFitters right now are bobsled pushers.
Really?
Colleen Foch, Kelsey Keel, Tia, James Newberry, one other guy. Yeah, there's like 5 people. Think of it. Like, you're pushing a bobsled. Like, name another athlete that's going to be as good as that. Like, at that.
Football player?
Right, but they weigh too much.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. You've got people that are just muscle and like
sprinter,
basically
cool runnings, buddy.
Basically specializing in pushing heavy shit and pulling heavy shit, and you're like, and they're fast, so it's like, yeah, let's put them on the back of a bobsled, see what happens. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I know that like,
is that what the retirement?
I don't think you have to do that full time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that Tia can still very easily do CrossFit while she's doing that.
Yeah.
While she's training to do that. She did that with, I know it's a little bit more of a crossover, but she did that while she was doing the Olympics for weightlifting. She did both. So I don't see a big issue there.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah. But leading into that, we rode 42,195 meters
Good segue.
last weekend.
It's not a good segue.
Yeah, it's fine.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, while we watched the greatest trilogy of all time.
All time.
Of all time.
Can I stop you really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
And go back to the whole Matt thing.
Yeah.
Did you see the meme? So there was that Matt Fraser, Rich Froning spat recently.
Yeah.
Like they.
And they were shaking
and then
hands.
Shaking hands, and so it was a meme, and it says what really happened, and it's like want to join teams.
Oh,
it's like, I quit.
I'd rather quit.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea. I honestly think Matt's done.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever compete. Not on team. I think he's done.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't need to.
No, but there is a part of me that fuck, if Tia gets her 5th, and then the next year
they do teams.
It's a Matt and Tia team. Oh my god.
Oh, forget it.
It'd just be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, back to where we were at. All of us rode 42,195 meters. A little bit over.
Plus.
Yeah, a little bit over.
I need to record my time.
But we all rode a full marathon on Concept 2 rowers.
Yeah. So
while watching.
Same kind of situation
Mm-hmm.
as the one we did for The Hobbit, where we moved on the rower anytime that the company or the ring moved.
It was the ring, yeah. Because the company splits,
yeah,
right? The fellowship splits.
Yeah. So basically had about an hour, right, at the beginning where we didn't have to do anything, and
Which
then
is nice.
And then it was nonstop rowing until the 3rd movie, and then we were all over it
and just wanted to get it done.
And we're just we're so close. At the time we had finished the 2nd movie, I think we were 16K.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, 15,
I was about 14.
Yeah, so between 14 and 17K, I think, for you, me, and Irfan.
Yeah.
Of hitting our 42 or full marathon.
Yep.
And so we're just gonna row.
I
just decided I'm just gonna keep rowing until I hit it.
We definitely got to the point where it was we were just done, and I really wanted to finish with Sam and Frodo in Mordor.
Yeah.
But I was so over it.
Yeah, you were a lot closer than the rest of us.
Yeah. And yeah.
But God, man, that was so much worse because there's so much more. In the first movie, there's so much more travel.
Way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Because we sat there and we kept thinking about it. And it was oh no, they still have to go here.
Yeah.
And then they still have to go here.
Yeah.
And then and we're not going to be. It's all the way through here before we get to go even to the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. That first one, I almost hit 20K on that first movie.
Did you?
Yeah.
I forget what I hit on the first one.
Almost hit 20K on that first movie.
I have my papers.
It was ridiculous. But it was there were definitely some good breaks. We were able to have some good breaks. We were able to eat lunch. We had breakfast in the morning, kind of. We had some food in the morning.
I made myself.
Yeah, you had your overnight oats.
Yeah.
We had those fun pastries. We had
Yeah.
some other stuff too. I mean, there was coffee, but I feel like we had other food there.
No, that was it.
Was that it?
Oh, there was the peanut butter stuff or that nut.
Oh yeah, we ate a lot of nut butters.
Yeah, which is unfortunately
which got us
named.
through it, honestly.
Unfortunately named.
And then those burrito bowls that sat like a brick.
Oh my god, they're so good though.
They were great. They just
But rowing and eating that burrito bowl from Chipotle and then rowing was just oh man.
Well, it was last bite. Oh shit, they're moving.
Yeah.
And started just sitting there. Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good.
And we got to watch all of them.
Yeah.
And kind of go through things again.
We started super early.
Yeah, we started at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Finished around 6 p.m. It was 5:30.
Yeah, we finished around 5:30.
Yeah. went through. We realized that there's about 25 minutes of credits at the end of each movie.
25. Well, on the third one, I think the third one's got even longer credits.
Yeah. It was fun doing it with Irfan because all of the things that you and I know about the movie, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And so we were able to be like, oh yeah, right there.
Yeah. That's where he stubs his toe. He really hurts it. He's like, in the movie? Yeah. I'm like, no, in real life.
Because you have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he also had questions about.
Yeah. Well, when we talked about the differences between the books.
Yeah.
And like all of that.
Which
stuff.
we'll talk about.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be getting into. But it was fun. We did the rowing. We did all 3 movies. Of course, extended because it's the only way to watch them. And so we're gonna go about this basically the same way that we did the last one, where I want to start out with like one from each, like 3 good things about the best trilogy of all time. And I know that's hard to do.
This is a hard one.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
I haven't prepared for this
But
at all.
3 good things, one from each movie, about the best trilogy that's ever been made.
Do I have to start?
You have to start.
I have to start.
I started last time.
My wife just walked by. Okay, so Fellowship of the Ring. I have to pick
just one like good thing. Like if somebody was talking to you and they've never seen it before and they were like, what's a good thing about this movie? Just like one good piece, one good thing about that movie. Like your favorite part.
That's like trying to like, who's your favorite kid?
I know.
Right?
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Like the movie is just it's the best trilogy.
It is.
Right? There's nothing like you can tell Peter Jackson's like love for the source material.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm gonna have an unpopular like best thing about Fellowship of the Ring.
You're gonna have an unpopular thing about
I
it?
am.
You go first.
And you can think.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, I'll probably play off of what you end up saying.
So I think the best thing, if I'm talking to I'm talking to somebody who's read the books and never seen the movies.
Yeah.
Okay, the best thing about Fellowship of the Ring is that they took out Tom Bombadil.
Oh yeah, you'd mentioned this.
It is the best part about that movie. Now, I don't like the Barrow Downs aren't in there.
Yeah.
Because I love that part of the book. I've always loved that part of the book. But taking out Tom Bombadil was probably the best thing that they could have done with the Fellowship of the Ring, because it murders the story. Like as it's going, you've got like all of this buildup. And I'm talking about it just in film. In the book, it's fine, right? In the book, it's good. Like I enjoy the character of Tom Bombadil. I don't like the hype that he gets from a lot of fans. To me, he's not anything super special. I don't like all of the like he's Iluvatar stuff embodied. I've heard that a lot, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I've heard he's also Tolkien.
Yeah, which meh.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. I think he's more of like a Father Time figure, which is cool. Or like in my mind, I think I showed you this like paragraph in one of the books that I've got. I think it's one of the History of Middle Earth books, where it basically just says that like other things other than the Ainur came down and were a part of Middle Earth, and these things were like jolly and didn't really care about the Earth, and or like they didn't care about all of the problems of the Earth. They were just there and happy, and I'm like, that sounds exactly like Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
like it's not a mystery.
Hey,
that's just what it is.
Mary Dole.
Yeah, like, but like,
ring a dong.
if you think about it in the concept of the movie, right? Him not being in the movie is the best thing that they could have done, because it keeps the movie going. He's a little too silly for what they were doing in the movie, and instead they put the good parts of that into Treebeard. Like those good parts of Tom Bombadil that aren't super silly, they put into Treebeard.
Yeah, which makes sense for him.
It makes perfect sense.
Tree herder.
So I think the best part of Fellowship of the Ring is that Tom Bombadil's not in it. That's my favorite part.
That's your favorite part.
Yep.
I still don't know what my favorite part of the Fellowship is.
That's fine.
I can't.
Say
and
something.
I just can't, I can't though.
Oh God.
Because it's not that I don't like it, right?
It's that you like it too much.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's more. Here, I'll compare it to The Hobbit, right?
Okay.
Is that it's more realistic
Yeah.
than The Hobbit is, right? The Hobbit just seems a little too fantasy,
Mhm.
right? Even though this is all fantasy,
Right.
right? But it's the directing, it's the cinematography, it's everything that makes you feel just like in that world,
Yeah.
right? And so all the things are traditional special effects, right? I think there's some special effects,
Right.
like digital special effects,
There has to be.
but
that's
the
name.
costuming, right? It's just the storytelling. Even though there are changes that were made and there are changes that I don't like, right? Everything flows very, very smoothly, very, very quickly. Unlike in the book, right, where I'm on these Reddit threads and there's a lot of there's a lot of people who felt the same way that I did about the first book, right?
Right.
That it's super slow up until
Right.
you get to the Council of Elrond,
Right.
right? And then the book picks up.
Yeah.
Favorite scene in the movie
Mm-hmm.
is Gandalf on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
It's just you get goosebumps.
I know. We're rowing. And it was happening to me,
Yeah.
and you were just like, "Oh, I just got chills." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" It just you feel that.
But that's why it's just like, well, what do you say that's good about the movie? There's extended scenes and it adds just like The Hobbit, right? It's for the readers,
Right.
and it's extra for the readers. It's not really extra for just whoever
Watching.
Yeah, and so I love that they throw that in there. But what do I like about it? What do I not like about it?
Well, I like it. Gandalf at the Bridge of Khazad Dûm.
Yeah.
That. And that's kind of when people think about the Fellowship. That's kind of. That's an iconic scene.
Yeah. I saw a meme. I see a lot of memes.
Yeah, you do.
But it was someone having a conversation. It's I showed these photos to my dad, and he's like, "Dad, who's this guy?" It's Legolas, right? And it's everybody in the Fellowship, and he's just basically saying, "I don't know who that is. I don't know who. I'm not a Tolkien fan. I don't like the Lord of the Rings." And then he gets to Gandalf. It's Gandalf.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Aragorn. He's I don't know who that is. It's everyone knows who Gandalf is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's mine. That's mine for the Fellowship.
All right. So you want to go for Two Towers?
I'll go for let's see. Should I go for Two Towers? Why don't you go again?
So just in general, Rohan.
Okay.
Just Rohan in general. The introduction of Rohan, kind of meeting a new city of men, and because up to that point, it's really just been the Fellowship and elves and hobbits.
Yeah.
And now you get introduced to Rohan, which is just this I love Rohan. I love everything about Rohan. The fucking soundtrack of Rohan is just the best thing in the world. And Theoden King is the guy who plays him is just amazing. And just, everything about Rohan I love except for Eowyn. But she's a great character in the book. I just I don't really care for her in the movie that much, honestly. It is what it is.
I guess.
But I love Rohan. The introduction of Rohan and Helms Deep, all of that. All of Rohan is just, and I get that that's most of the Two Towers.
Yeah.
But
the Two Towers is basically Rohan.
Rohan.
Yeah.
And then whatever is going on with Sam and Frodo.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sam and Frodo stuff is honestly it's not
you get a lot of Gollum.
You get a lot of Gollum, yes.
Which is nice.
Yeah. I think, and then again, favorite scene in the movie is Gollum talking to himself.
Right.
It's just
It's so good.
it's done so well, and if you're paying attention, you do see it go, where at the very beginning,
It's here to here, and it's
and
panning.
and you see him like
Yeah.
doing that, and then like at the third like interaction, it's a quick shot.
Yeah, it's just
right?
shot to shot
But
to
there
shot
is
to
a
shot.
little bit like in between that shot where you do see Smeagol like turn,
Yeah.
right? And if you're paying attention, you can catch it, but you do see him turn, right? And so it's like I like that.
They did that part so well.
That part was done so well. The Battle of Helms Deep is just, there are
Is
more
this
things.
it?
Yeah, there are more things in it that I could say like, I wish they hadn't have done it that way,
Right.
right? But like that's not to say that I didn't like it,
Right. Well, and Theoden has so many, like, especially at Helm's Deep, like he has so many iconic lines, like, so it begins.
Yeah.
And just like it. Oh, it's so good. Like it's just so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the idea of the whole Gollum scene, the back and forth there, because
Yeah.
it really is just everything about that. It really makes you understand the character.
and it makes you sympathize with Gollum more.
Oh yeah,
It makes you realize like
when he
he's
tells him that he
not-
hates him and
Yeah.
like go away
he's
and
like,
all that
well, and
stuff.
then when he's being bullied by himself,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
and it's like go away. He's like, you ain't got no friends,
Yeah.
right?
Nobody likes
Nobody
you.
likes you. And it's like, and that's like, and then you realize it's like that's him talking to himself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And those are some demons.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like they did that so well, and I think, Peter Jackson, and give a lot of credit to Andy Serkis as well.
Yeah.
Of just the idea that they were like, we are creating this necessary villain that is going to be. He's already there. He's in Tolkien's writings, but we need to make sure that on the screen people understand that this guy's got it's. It's
he
not
needed-
just that he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it was a BAFTA. It was almost kind of like inside the Actors Guild like
Mhm.
type like they did an interview with Andy Serkis and he was talking, and I told you about it, like how Andy Serkis came up with the voice of
Oh
Gollum,
yeah,
right?
his cat.
Where his cat came in and was hacking up a fur ball. But he was talking about it. He's like, he got offered the role. He's like, well, who is it? He's like, oh, it's Gollum. He's like, well, I kind of know Gollum. I didn't really read The Lord of the Rings. And he's like, well, the thing is, it's voice acting. Like they need your voice. And he was hesitant to do it because he's an actor,
right.
And I guess he was working on the voice, and then he meets with Peter Jackson. He does it, and he's like, here's the thing that we want. Like, we don't want, Sam and Frodo to be talking just to like a tennis ball, right? We actually want you to be in a suit. We want you to act with them, and blah blah blah. And it was at that point, like when he was doing this role, that Peter Jackson also offered him like King Kong.
Oh yeah.
So thank God for Peter Jackson's ingenuity with this, right? Because what would we have been?
Yeah, the mocap that we have now because of that, Rocket Raccoon in Guardians. Not to a lesser extent, things like Thanos.
Yeah.
And like the amazing like motion capture that we have now, it definitely gets traced back to Peter Jackson and Andy Serkis doing Gollum.
Yeah.
And like the amazing job that they did there. And like you said, like Andy Serkis basically turning it into acting.
Yeah.
Like he's like this is a legitimate thing, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Yeah. And he just did it so well.
I know.
So you just know that it's him now too. Like, you see Andy Serkis, who's actually a pretty jacked guy and like pretty big, burly dude, like big, but like, you see him and you're like, yeah, that's fucking Gollum.
Yeah.
Because you see like the little intricacies in his face, and they captured that and put it onto Gollum.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
And he's able to jump into that role just effortlessly. Like him reading the Trump tweets on
up on the couch,
up on Colbert, yeah.
And I love
to get into the.
I love that he has to do that.
Yeah,
like, it's always up here.
Yeah,
you know, it's like up on the thing. Like he has to do this to do Gollum, and it's just so good. Ah.
You know this is audio, right?
Oh my god, that hurts so much.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
My legs hurt. But yeah, it's it's just a great part of it. So I know that we basically just talked about the entire movie because it's Rohan and then Gollum. Like,
yeah. Well, there's also Fangorn.
Right.
Isengard.
Right. Which is great.
Yeah.
Like all of that's fantastic. Right. But moving into Return of the King. Yeah. What are your feelings on Return of the King?
It's a great movie.
Right. It's a great way to spend 4 hours.
Yeah. It's not quite 4 hours. I think it's 4 hours with
the credits.
With the credits.
Yeah.
Again, it's the trilogy as a whole than each movie individually. It's like neither of the three movies are bad. Like not one of the three movies is bad. So you can't really be like, I like this one better.
Right.
So it's just one big movie. It's one 12-hour movie.
Right.
Right. The scene at the end, where it's for Frodo.
Right.
Chills.
Oh yeah.
Right. You bow to nobody.
Oh.
Chills.
Every time.
Right. What else? The Paths of the Dead.
Yeah, that part's great.
Yeah. Those are, my favorite.
Yeah. I love
the ride of the Rohirrim where they show up, right?
Yeah.
Chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the extent of the army of Sauron that we get too. Like just when they get to Pelennor Fields and when they're like heading towards the gates of
Minas
Tirith.
Yeah.
And like the towers and the trolls bringing the towers and
Yeah.
just like everything about that is it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like and it's so big. It's so like everything about. I think that's one of the things with Return of the King specifically. Everything in Return of the King is so big.
Yeah.
Like everything. And extended edition. What we don't get otherwise, the Mouth of Sauron, is so good.
Yeah.
You don't get that in the theatrical.
He's in it. He's not in it?
Nope.
Are you
Not at
sure?
all. Aragorn cutting off his head,
That's
like
not
all
in
that,
it.
that's not in it.
Yeah.
And that's not in the book either, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
like, I don't care. Like, I'm not treating with some asshole.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just everything in Return of the King, it feels like they made it so large.
Yeah. I do wish that was more true to the book because, the intent of the Mouth of Sauron was to take over Isengard.
Yeah.
Like he was there to discuss terms, right?
Right.
And his terms were, you guys retreat, you pay tribute to Sauron.
I will be your leader in Isengard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But come on, we knew that wasn't going to go down.
No, because then that adds more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that was like, if I were to say anything about Return of the King, it's that everything in it was so big.
Yeah.
Just everything. It was just like, it was just massive.
I would say it's chilly because it gives you chills. There's a lot of scenes where it gives you chills.
Yeah.
Right. The ride of the Rohirrim.
Mm-hmm.
Right. bow to no one, for Frodo.
Well, and
When Frodo, like, the ending,
yeah.
when Frodo leaves, like, the music that they...
Well, and even before that, Pippin singing,
Yeah.
like,
I could do without Pippin singing.
Oh, I love it.
I don't...
That whole thing with the gross eating of the tomato.
Yeah.
I don't know why that tomato stains his mouth purple. That's really weird.
Weird.
But, whatever.
It's Middle-earth tomatoes.
Yeah. But I love it. Like, I love the Pippin, like, singing that. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And Faramir, we'll talk about Faramir.
Yeah.
But, like, his whole thing there and, like, just so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, I loved it. And there are definitely things, I think in Return of the King, more than any of the other books, there are things about, like, changes that were made that maybe bother me a little bit more. But as a movie, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, there are a few faults. All right, well, that was tough.
Yeah, it's hard. It's actually easier to be like... It's easier to say what you didn't like.
So that's the thing. So
because
now,
you could do from a book perspective,
right? And so that's the thing. Like, now we'll talk about that because, like, yes, absolutely, 100%, it is the best trilogy that has ever existed in theater. Like, in cinematic, like, history, it is the best.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a 12-hour movie.
It's a 12-hour movie. There's not, like, most trilogies, you go, I don't like the third one.
Right.
Right? Or, I don't like the second one.
Yeah.
Right? With this one, it's just like, no.
Yeah.
There's not one movie that I
Well,
don't...
I think a big part of that was that Peter Jackson filmed it as a 12-hour movie.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh yeah, we're going to make another one of these and have the story continue. It was, no, this is a 12-hour movie. It's not like Terminator 2, where they were like, oh, well, we can continue this story.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not like other things where they're like, oh, we're going to make a second movie now. No.
Yeah.
He made a 12-hour movie, and then he broke it into 3 parts.
Right.
Exactly how it should be done, because the book itself is like that.
It's 3-part.
And so, but it is, with that, there are definitely things that, especially if you've read the books from a book perspective, that you can be like, I don't like that much. I don't like that they took that out. I don't like that they put this in, whatever it might be. Like, there are definitely faults to it. So let's talk about that a little bit. It doesn't have to go movie to movie, I guess.
No, I'm just going to say, generally, I don't like what they did to Elrond.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like what they did to him, right? I don't like the character path that Elrond has in the movie.
Right.
Just like I don't like the character path that Faramir has in the movie. Out of the two, I think the one that they did to Faramir, they did Faramir dirty.
He got major shafted.
He got screwed so bad in the movie. Because in the books, he's such a better...
Like, he's almost a better human than Aragorn.
No, I wouldn't say he's
Oh,
better.
I would.
You think he's better than Aragorn?
Yeah.
How?
He doesn't even have doubts.
Yeah. He's more... I would say he's more equal to Aragorn.
Yeah,
in terms
sure.
of, like, how good... Like, of a person, right? That he is, right?
The thing is in the book, though, Aragorn has a lot of doubts. He doubts himself a lot. He doubts himself of, like, other things. Like,
you don't think you would if you're the last
of
right line and you ain't had kids yet,
right? You're 87.
It's a lot of pressure. No, I think how they did the Faramir character in the movie was for dramatic effect, right? You needed that drama with Frodo and with Sam,
right? By all accounts, we shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, great meta storytelling. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like how they did him. And then as far as Elrond goes, is like they make Elrond almost racist against men when it's like he was never.
No.
And his whole thing was like, yeah, you can marry my daughter, but she's not going to marry some ranger.
Yeah.
She's going to marry the king.
Yeah.
So
be the king.
So be the king.
Yeah.
Right?
He was very encouraging.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And so those are two things that I don't like. I also wished, are we going to do this or are we going to do this separately? Where it's like things that they took out that you wish they had included.
No, go ahead.
Scouring of the Shire.
I know.
As it would have added, it honestly would have added like another half an hour at least.
It would have been so much longer
to the movie, but then add it to the extended. Give it to the fans.
Or cut two towers differently.
Yeah.
You know, cut that at a different spot.
Yeah.
So that you can, you know, continue on with Return of the King and add the Scouring of the Shire, because it does. It changes everything. Like, people who don't read the book, because Ariel's actually made this point when we've talked about it before. People who don't read the book don't really understand why Frodo is leaving.
Yeah.
And the Scouring of the Shire gives you a lot of that. That it's no longer his home.
Yeah.
And not just that, but it's the idea, and people draw this line a lot of, like, soldiers coming home from war, is that it's never the home that you remember.
Yeah. That
you're coming back to.
Well, it's literally not, because it's completely changed.
Right.
Right? You know, it's harder to do it, you know, killing off Saruman where they killed Saruman.
Right. That would have had to completely change.
Right. So clearly they had no intention of filming the Scouring. But it also makes it like, you know, the hobbits are essentially just a bunch of spoiled people.
Yeah.
Right?
Who never get touched by the outside world.
Who never get touched by the outside world and never have to deal with anything.
And I think that's the other point that Tolkien was trying to make in the writing, is this idea of, like, you can bury your head in the sand all you want, but the world's going to come to you.
Yeah.
Like, and we just, and it's funny because Sam, even at the beginning, when they're all sitting around the table and they're talking at the
council.
No. At the bar. Not the Prancing Pony.
The Green Dragon.
Green Dragon.
Yeah.
And they're all talking, and they're talking. I think it might be his dad that says the whole, like, don't go looking for trouble and no trouble's gonna find you type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like they put that out there, but they never tie that back in of, like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it will come to you.
Right.
No matter what. And so, like, they did create that and then just never really resolved it.
I mean, they just kind of come home and they're like, look at us in our fancy duds and on our ponies. And you
never get to understand that, like, that Frodo really is that typical, like, soldier that, like, his home will never be his home again. Like, he went through way too much shit to ever be at peace.
Yeah.
No matter what, like, happened to the Shire and what, like, peacefulness they have now, he went through way too much to ever be at peace again.
Right.
And you just don't really see that. You get to the end, and it's beautiful, and it's, like, it's heartfelt and everything, but, like, you just feel bad that he's leaving his friends.
Yeah.
It's not this understanding that, like, he's absolutely done.
Yeah.
Like, he cannot stay anymore. And you just don't really get that.
No.
From the movies. Which, you know, if that's not what they were trying to go for, then that's not what they were trying to go for.
I still want the Scouring.
Yeah. I mean, watching Merry and Pippin be badasses and, like, toques to arms.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, even, like, I would love to see, I mean, we never got him anyway, but I would love to see Farmer Maggot as an actual character in this movie. Because, again,
we saw Farmer. Oh, no, we didn't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We see his pitchfork.
We see his pitchfork. You're right.
But, like, seeing Farmer Maggot just sitting next to a bonfire in the middle of the road, Just, you know, waiting for the people to come to ambush them.
Yeah.
Like, just all of that, and like watching the hobbits actually fight for their world. You know, like it's different.
It's fight for their peace, right?
Right, and they never...
A peace that we also know is being secured by the Rangers.
Right,
right? The remaining Dunedain.
We never saw anything other than fat, dumb, happy hobbits.
Yeah.
Ever. We didn't get to see them, like you said, like fight for their peace. We didn't get to see them in thraldom.
Yeah.
Like it was we never got to see Otho being an asshole. Like it was just fat, dumb, happy hobbits.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. That's
which is a little bit of a disservice to hobbits.
Yeah, it is.
But they're also kind of like that 90% of the time.
I'm gonna add on to this. As much as I like her character, I wish we'd have gotten a little bit of Glorfindel.
Yeah, I think my thing there is just like, it's just another guy.
Yeah.
You're putting in another guy.
I mean, it's not a thing. Like, I just want it. As a book fan, right?
But you're just putting in another dude
because he's badass.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the same. It's like the same thing that I thought about, like, because we were talking about Elrohir and the one that I can never remember. But Elrond's sons.
Yeah.
And like, man, it would be cool to see them and the Rangers go with, the Grey Company go with him. But again, it's like, it's just another dude. Like, it's more guys, like, that you're adding to the fray.
Yeah.
It's just more dudes being badasses.
And I like that they added, the company from Lorien.
Right. Oh, it's so good.
At Helms Deep.
So good.
I think it adds, it does add a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, did they need to?
I think they needed to, just in the sense of, like, for fans to be, like, if you haven't read the books or anything like that, for fans to be resolved that elves and men are fighting again.
Yeah.
Like they're together and they're fighting this war together. Like, I mean, that's his whole speech, right? We are here to fulfill that pledge, or whatever he says.
We're here to honor that.
Yeah, and like
I was upset when he died.
I know.
I like
that was fucking useless. Yeah. Like, why'd you do that? Yeah. Like, that was...
You didn't need to kill him.
No.
And then when you really look at it, I don't remember seeing any elves at the end.
I know.
With any of the people from Rohan, right?
Have you seen the picture of the guy that's like this, and he's wearing the elven armor, and it's when Gandalf arrives on the third day after all the elves are dead. It's like so good.
Yeah. I'm like, did they really all have to die?
Yeah. It was a bummer that he died. I can't even remember what his name is. Haldir?
Yeah.
Because he's the one that in the book leads them over the rivers and all of that stuff with the special rope and everything to Galadriel, right? Yeah. Yeah. Great character. And like the actor was awesome. Yeah. Like, I loved him as a person, like as like that character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we got, in the extended version, we got way too much of Celeborn, because he's fucking useless anyway.
Did we get a lot of Celeborn?
Yeah, he talks to Elrond more. Or not Elrond, Aragorn more. Like, in the extended version, he talks to Aragorn more, and I'm like, this guy's useless. There's no, like, why is he here?
Yeah.
Like,
You're not a big fan of Celeborn.
No, he's stupid. Yeah. He's useless.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's the epitome of the meme of, if you ever feel useless, remember that Galadriel had a husband.
He's Stedman to Galadriel's Oprah.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I mean, hey, I guess he was around long enough so that Elrond could marry his daughter, so that's good, I guess. That's good. But other than that,
you don't get Arwen.
He's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But yeah. I'm trying to think. There was something else. I mean, like we talked about Faramir, like the poor guy, like that. Just the character that we got in the movie was absolutely not even close to what was given.
Yeah, to what the character is in the book.
He's not this middle child syndrome pining over his
Daddy didn't love me.
Yeah, and like trying to be just like his eldest brother.
Yeah.
Like that's not who he's supposed to be.
Right.
He is a like one of the most honorable men that you meet.
And you get that from their relationship with his relationship with his father.
Right.
Right? Where he's like, he says something, some conjurer student or something like that. Yeah. Because in the books, we're told that Faramir was most like his mother.
Right.
Right? And, Gandalf spent a lot of time in Minas Tirith.
Yeah, he learned a lot from Mithrandil.
Right. And he was like a student, like, he was his student. And Daddy didn't like that.
Right.
And
because Denethor thought that he was just as far-seeing as Gandalf, who's a fucking Maya.
And then Boromir was most like Denethor.
Right.
And so,
who I also... And like I've said this a million times, I guess never really on this podcast before, but Boromir is my favorite character.
Yeah, I've said that.
Like I love Boromir.
Yeah.
His arc is the most realistic human arc that there is. It's the same reason why I guess we have talked about this a little bit. It's the same reason why I like Edmund in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
Is because he's the only one that you're like, yeah, dude fucked up big time and understood that and learned from it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Boromir's learning from it didn't get to last very long, but still, like who Boromir was and what he was, and like, come on, when he dies, oh my god, like it's so good, and like right after you see Aragorn lacing up his his arm thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called, but whatever that is,
is it a gauntlet?
I feel like that's what the gloves are, but I don't know. But that, right? He's like
his arm chaps.
Yeah, he's buckling that up, knowing that like he's taking like a piece of his brother with him, type of thing, and it's just so good. Like,
and just Sean Bean as that,
and Sean Bean as that character is just fantastic, and because he is so real and so relatable, you also like you can't blame him. Like he wanted to fight for his people.
Yeah.
He wanted his people to survive, and not only that, but he was definitely under the influence of the ring when he went crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's shown by as soon as Frodo leaves.
Well, as soon as he like gets like knocked out or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, shit.
It's like he's waking out of a dream, and he's just like, what? Oh shit! That wasn't a dream. That really happened.
Yeah, like, oh, this just happened, and like that was me. I have to make amends however I can. So I will save the little ones, as he says.
Yeah,
the little ones. Oh, it's so good. They've taken the little ones.
Yeah, I think they kept Boromir the thing with Boromir is they kept him true to character.
They did.
I think. Everyone else was pretty much true to character. And even the changes that they did, like, I don't like them only because it makes the person seem worse than they actually are.
Yeah. I think Aragorn, they changed a lot.
You think?
Aragorn doubted himself a lot in the books. He doubts himself a lot. He doubts himself that he's not able to lead, that
he doubts himself.
Not really, though.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, the only time is where he breaks his toe. Like, at that point, like, that's where he's kind of doubting himself, right? Like, what have I done? Like, they died.
No, there's this scene with him and Arwen when they're in Rivendell.
Yeah.
And he's, like, talking about, the same weakness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You get that from him, I think.
I feel like it's not as much, which is fine. Like, I don't think it changes a whole lot.
And I think you kind of, like... You see the fear in his eyes when he's like staring down the paths of the dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh god, that's so good though.
Yeah, I think I don't think they didn't really change him all that much.
Yeah. Thinking of any other like changes from, is there anything that you wish they, like I said, I actually wish they would have kept the Barrow Downs.
Yeah.
But that would be really difficult to do without Tom Bombadil.
Right.
And I'm glad that Tom Bombadil wasn't in there.
Yeah.
So it's a little catch-22 there.
Yeah, I'm not like the whole Old Forest scene. I'm okay with them not including it.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, is there anything else that they took out?
Or took out or added in? Is it like differences from the book that you can think like you didn't like?
That I didn't like?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, the whole, like, the two biggest things for me are Elrond and Faramir.
Yeah.
Those have always been.
The Scouring.
Well, the Scouring's just kind of like, I wish they'd have included it. It's
Yeah.
not a thing like, it's not a thing that I think about
Right.
a lot, right? It's like, that would have been nice to see,
Yeah.
right? And you do kind of see it in Sam's vision.
Right.
Or was it just Frodo?
No, it's Sam's.
Sam's vision. It
is.
It's Frodo.
It's Frodo. In the book, it's Sam's
Yeah.
vision.
In the book, it's Sam's vision.
That's right. It is Frodo in the movie.
Yeah, I think for me, those are just the two biggest things that it's like,
Yeah.
why did you have to, like, I kind of understand why you had to do that, because you had to throw in some sort of drama,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like, oh, Elrond doesn't want you marrying his daughter, right? Faramir is just another man who's, you know, being corrupted by the ring. It's like,
Right.
no, he's not really.
Yeah.
Like, he knows, you know, that Frodo's on this journey,
Right.
and he doesn't hinder him, right? So yeah, those are two things that I wish that they had done differently.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I'm going through a bunch of stuff in my head, especially in Return of the King, that they didn't put in there. But like thinking about it, I'm like, no, I think it's okay that they didn't. So like, you know, Aragorn being like a healer. And
You
and,
get
like,
that a little bit in the extended.
tiny bit.
Tiny bit.
Yeah. And then like him finding the tree.
Right.
All of that stuff. Like
the tree just blooms again.
Right. So like I'm thinking about all that stuff, and I'm like that's good for like the lore, especially like the tree and like the significance there, and like the lore of like all of the backstory and everything else. But it's not really necessary in this.
Right.
You know, and
because what's the significance of the tree for someone who's just a casual viewer?
Right. Like
they don't know that tree was the seedling of a tree that was in Minas
of
Ithil,
a tree.
yeah, which is the seedling of a tree that was in Numenor, which is a seedling of a tree that was in Tol Eressëa, which is a seedling of the tree
in semblance of Telperion. Yeah. So it's just this big like thing, right? But like, and it's not necessary. It's well enough done to say that the Tree of the Kings is blooming again. Yeah. Right. And then
that the king is back.
Yeah.
Right.
I could have done without them swallowing each other's faces.
Yeah. Not a great kissing scene.
But yeah, overall, like I think about all of the things that were, I guess, omitted especially from Return of the King, and I think about, for the most part, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you. The Scouring of the Shire would have been nice to see that. It would have been nice to understand, but like this is kind of a problem of the movies of a whole. It would have been nice to understand that they've been back in the Shire for years before Frodo went and got on a boat.
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't like they got back in a few months later.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess you get a little bit of that because Sam does have kids at that point.
Sam has kids at that point, and Frodo's like, "Oh yeah, it's hurting again. And It hurts every year."
And that's like you get that a lot in the books, but not in the movie.
Yeah, but then you run the risk of going 5 years later,
right?
Which kind of It's like that
But-
would have been cheesy. That
and-
would have been kind of cheesy.
And
to
you get
do.
the same thing at the very beginning of the movies, that it's decades from Bilbo leaving to them leaving the Shire.
What do you mean?
It seems like months pass during the Fellowship. So Bilbo leaves, right? And this is Frodo's 33rd birthday, and then they don't leave the Shire until Frodo turns 50.
Yeah.
So
In the books.
in the books.
Yeah.
So in the movie, like the time span is shortened.
Yeah.
In
Well, and they prepare.
right.
Right. So in the books, they like Frodo's like, all right, we're gonna plan this. Like we're gonna leave.
I'm gonna move to this other house.
Yeah, I bought this other house.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell back in.
Right.
We sold it to Lobelia.
Yeah, which again, you would have to be getting into the idea of not just showing fat, dumb, happy hobbits.
Right.
You've got to go more into Hobbit society to do that, and Peter Jackson obviously didn't want to do that.
And there's no point for it.
Right.
Right. It's more dramatic effect to go, have Gandalf back.
Right.
Where's the ring?
Right. Right.
It is the one
and
ring.
you have no
gotta
idea.
Go.
Yeah, you have no idea how much time has passed, but it definitely hasn't been years.
Yeah.
It's been a small amount of time.
Yeah.
But anyway, all in all, I think this was, by all accounts, an impossible task that went amazingly well.
To
create
this.
Movies out of the
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like it was bananas.
I'm glad the technology was at a point though
where it could be done.
where it could be done.
That it wasn't done in like the 70s.
Yeah.
Because that would be garbage.
Oh my god.
And then, because what would happen is if that happened, it would put a stain on it.
Yeah.
From there. Like, so yeah, I agree. I'm really glad that this didn't happen in like the 70s or 80s. That it got to a point where technology was far enough along that in those CGI moments, the CGI looked good. Like, you kidding me? The fucking thing that the Nazgul ride.
Yeah.
I don't
The
want to
Fell
call it
Beast.
a dragon. Yeah, Fell Beast.
That's Fell Beast. It's what it's technically called.
Right. Like, that thing's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's CGI, but it looks great.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. And like some of those shots, especially my favorite shot of the entirety of the movies is where the Fell Beast roars and it shows down. It's like the way that the camera goes down onto the army marching out of Minas Morgul.
Yeah.
So good. Like, it's so good, and you wouldn't be able to do that without that technology.
No.
Like, even just 5 years before, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Treebeard in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would have either been super cartoony
Right.
or just really bad.
Yeah. And so it was absolutely an impossible task that Peter Jackson decided, no, we're going to do it. And, like, the world is so much better because of it.
Well, we have memes.
Yeah.
We get memes from it.
And just think of like all of the actors and actresses that like you think of that, like the guy who plays Theoden.
Yeah.
It's just so good. And the guy who plays Denethor, like he's a fucking crazy Denethor and he's good. And Denethor is not that crazy in the books, honestly, but he brings it out so well that it's just it's so good. He does a great job at it. And so every time I see him now, I think Denethor. Like, every single time.
Yeah, I see Éomer, and that's all I think of.
Yeah.
Even when he's playing Bones in Star Trek.
Yeah, well,
like,
yeah,
you're Éomer.
Yeah, how many other things has he been on? You know, he's what's his name on Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in a bunch
Which
of
he kind of
stuff.
looks like Éomer.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Éomer,
in
Star Trek.
Bones.
Yeah,
no,
Bones,
not at all.
He's
he's
Judge
great.
Dredd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so good.
Yeah. Okay, so what about things that they added, things that are different from the book that you're okay with?
That they added?
Not that they,
that
not
I'm
like
okay
new
with.
scenes. Yeah,
Um,
like changes that they made to the book that you.
bird is super loud.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's a J.
Things that they added that I'm okay with. Ooh, I don't know. You got something? I'll
I
think
do.
about it. Okay, go for it.
So in the book, so the Paths of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
They take, I forget what it is. It's one of the ports,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. That's their entire involvement.
Oh, that's true.
Because in the books, Aragon has the Grey Company, right?
Right.
Which is the remaining Dunedain in the north,
And the sons of.
and then the sons
Elrond.
of Elrond,
Right.
right? And then with Gimli and Legolas and the dead, take the Umbar fleet
Mm-hmm.
who was attacking that port.
Right.
And then Aragon's like, cool,
Yeah.
thanks, you guys are done, right? In the movies, they attack the ships,
Right.
and then they take them over to Minas Tirith,
Right.
and then they just clean out the armies there.
Yeah,
the
from
Eastern,
Osgiliath on.
the Haradrim, right,
Right.
that are there. So they're involved, and then they clean up Minas Tirith. So
Right.
their ghost horses and cavalry
Yeah.
rampaging through the streets of Minas Tirith, and then they clean the city from the orcs. I'm fine with that
Yeah.
being in the movie and being different than the books.
Right.
That's the only thing that I can think of.
So this is going to go against one of the things that you talked about. I like what they did with Arwen. And it's just because, like, she's not just a pining princess.
Yeah.
She comes and she saves Frodo. You know, she's the one that...
But then what does she do?
Right, but at least she does that.
Yeah.
She's that strong person. Now all of the girls that have watched this movie can say, if you want him, come and take him. You know, like, or come and claim him.
Come
That's
and
what
claim
she says.
him, yeah.
But, like, you know, and that's a badass moment.
Yeah.
Like, she's
That-
there on
that-
her horse.
that
like,
horse
with her
riding
fucking
scene,
sword.
yeah.
Like, that's an awesome moment. And yes, after that, from there on, she's either convincing Aragorn that he can be the king, right?
Yeah.
Or just being a pining princess.
Yeah.
Right? One of those two things. But you get that part. You get that part of her basically saying to Aragorn, like, I'm faster and better than you.
Yeah.
So sit the fuck down. And then, like, facing down the Nazgul.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's pretty awesome. And you get that. Whereas if it was Glorfindel, you wouldn't.
But Glorfindel makes more sense.
Sure.
I get it.
They got to have that one part that they were like, we're going to have her in this, but we're going to make her a strong female on this part, which was not really heard of at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, other than it was basically like this and Trinity from the Matrix
Right.
in this time period. And that was really it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It's
Right.
like, I don't, you know.
Glorfindel would just be one more dude.
Just one more dude.
One
but
more dude.
It makes more sense because he's seen the light of the trees.
Whatever.
He stared down a Balrog.
Whatever. Got murdered by a Balrog.
It's whatever. Did you take a Balrog down?
But I like that. I like that they put her in that part.
Yeah.
I like that they put her in that role. Give us Glorfindel all day in the Amazon show.
Yeah.
Give it to me all day.
Yeah.
I'll take Glorfindel all day with his giant.
He better
just,
be there.
Fuck yeah. Like, do that.
If he's not,
Get it.
I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna
He
watch
has
it.
to be. Like, I mean, we've already discussed a little bit about the idea of, like, Aldarion and Glorfindel teaming up, and them, like, that being a pretty big part of, like, Numenor.
I'm just wondering what they're gonna do, because if Glorfindel's there in the Amazon series, right?
Mhm.
Are they gonna recast Gandalf, or is, you know, because they're there at the same time. They get sent back around the same time.
Right. I don't know. Maybe. The Astari gets sent over as old men, so they don't need to recast him.
No, they don't.
Like, he can look exactly the same 3,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that's, I mean, he's an Astari.
Yeah.
So you know, I feel like that is. I don't think they need to recast him. I also don't think they need to bring Gandalf into it.
No.
Like, unless they're going all the way into the Battle of the Last Alliance, then I just don't think that.
I don't think it's going to be that deep into.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go that far into
Yeah.
it. I don't think we're going to finish up the Second Age with this. At least I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the fall of Numenor and then finishing up the Second Age. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want that. We've seen that flashback. We don't need it again.
I wouldn't mind seeing the lead up to it,
Yeah.
and then it ending.
Yeah.
The series ending with it. Maybe. We'll see.
But yeah, I do know that they've already talked about, which I do think this is a little weird, that they've recasted Galadriel. And I think Elrond did that.
I think you kind of have to.
I mean, I guess, but like, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but in my mind, they're basically that elves are that quintessential, like, you grow to 33 years old, and then that's where you stay.
But unfortunately, we're real people.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, but you telling me that Kate Blanchett still can't look?
Oh, she could
amazing.
She could totally
as-
pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. She
Now
could tot-
Elrond, Hugo,
Yeah.
he's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, even seeing him in The Hobbit, you're like, ooh, they did some work there.
Did they? I
They
don't think
definitely made him look younger.
I mean, technology's got to the point where they could.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Super easy. But yeah, I think they'll bring Glorfindel in. I think it would be silly if they didn't.
Series, yeah.
I mean, he is like the captain of the elves
Yeah.
at that time period. So it would be really weird if he wasn't a part of it. I think he kind of has to be. And Aldarion, god damn it.
Oh yeah.
They need that story. But yeah, I mean, we finished it up. It was great. I liked doing what we did. I'd do it maybe once every 2 years.
Once every 2 years.
Maybe
yeah,
not
that's-
once every year.
No, not every year.
I think once a year would be. It's so much rowing.
Yeah.
It's like, and every time, like, both times with The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, we went into it like, we've got this, and we got 2 movies in, and it was just like, oh my god.
It was a lot harder this time around because we
3
did
hours and 2 minutes of rowing
Yeah.
for me.
yeah,
Yours was 3 hours and 20?
21 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
So much.
But and as painful as it was and as sore as I was that night, like my legs were just like,
Yeah.
and I spasmed at one point, like while we were rowing. The next day,
Fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just miserable the day of.
Yeah.
And
Then sitting on, like, thank God we had the ab mats.
yeah.
But like sitting on the seat, like, Rogue, if you're listening, like, you
Make
need-
something.
your concept would it be concept 3 now?
Yeah.
Should have a comfortable ass fucking seat.
Or something you can put on it.
Yeah, just add it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an addition that you can, like, if this is gonna be over a 5K, you should probably put this thing on.
Yeah.
Because 41,000 or 42,000 meters later, and
Yeah.
your ass is gonna hurt.
Melissa had texted her sister that I had done 42,000 kilometers.
Take a week.
I think I accidentally like mistyped it when I texted her how
Yeah.
much we had done. And her brother-in-law's like, that's like 15,000 miles.
Just rowing across the Atlantic, guys.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, did it in 3 hours.
yeah, final synopsis. What can you say about the best
trilogy
ever made? The best 12-hour movie that's ever been made. It's the only 12-hour movie that's ever been made, but
so
still.
far.
It's funny because we wanted to review these. We wanted to do the rowing thing. It's something we've talked about for a long time. But like in reality, like I also wanted to show that like the Hobbit movies and the Lord of the Rings movies are great movies.
Yeah.
There is more that you can say bad about the Hobbit movies, for sure. We talked about it. There's definitely more that you can say bad about the Hobbit movies, but it's not like the Lord of the Rings trilogy is infallible.
Right.
There are definitely problems with it.
Yeah, there are differences in the book. There are things that they changed, but is it still the greatest movie trilogy ever? Is it the greatest?
20 years later,
3
it's
standalone.
still the best.
It still holds up.
Yeah.
20
years later, you can still watch it, and it's not dating itself.
No.
You're watching it and being like, yeah, no, this is a great movie still.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
Perfect. It's perfection.
Yeah. And so I don't hate it, even though we rode through the whole thing.
No.
I don't think I'm going to have a bad taste in my mouth because of the rowing.
No.
I do think doing this more than, once every 2 years will maybe break me.
Doing it more than once every 2 years.
Yeah. Maybe once every 5 years. We do it once every half a decade.
That's a lot.
That's not that much.
I was going to say let's do it annually.
That's so gross. Would you really want to do this once a year?
Marathon every year? Marathon and a half every year.
That sounds so gross. It's funny because now that we've done it, like, it's done, and in my heart, I'm like, do I ever need to do that again?
No. Do I ever need to do that again? No. If you ask me to do it again, will I do it again? Probably.
Yeah.
Come if you never want to do it again, I'm also okay with that.
Yeah.
If you just want to watch the movies, I'm much more okay with that.
Yeah. So that, I mean, this is kind of what we wanted to do. We wanted to do the all 6 movies, just like we talked about 3 podcasts ago, reviewing all 6 movies.
Talked about it before the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Long ago.
Yeah.
But reviewing all 6 movies, talking about them. Look, the Lord of the Rings movies are a great 3 standalone trilogy. You add The Hobbit in there, and it's an amazing 6-movie in-universe.
It's an amazing saga.
Yeah, saga. Like, in-universe saga. They did a great job. It was awesome. And, like, watching these, I'm amped for the Amazon series. And again, like we talked about, I know that it's not Peter Jackson. I know that he's been there and he's said a few, like, he's helped a little bit, but he's not really a part of it.
Yeah.
That's fine. As long as this is still, like, in universe, then I'm okay with it. And I think it's going to be good. I hate the naysayers out there.
Yeah.
That haven't seen a fucking thing about it and are going bananas.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. Let something happen.
I know. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
All right, so follow us, _Swolhirrim at
you need to write this
on Instagram. We're here on YouTube at the Swolhirrim, Spotify, the Swolhirrim. I both have this on Spotify and a Spotify playlist. It's my workout playlist, the Swolhirrim, if you want to check that out. Email us, _Swolhirrim at gmail.com if you have any questions. Leave comments, argue with us online. That's fun to do too.
Yeah.
I've been, more and more on Instagram, and then this and the Hobbit review are going to come out as bonus episodes. So we've still got our regular episodes of history of Middle Earth, or the history is what I call it, and then the character profiles that have been coming out. So we've still got those out, and follow us, find us, listen to us, fucking talk to us. Like, that's really what I want, is just a little bit of interaction.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just like, you guys fucking suck, like, that's okay. Like,
it's interaction.
Yeah, it's interaction. So talk to us, let us know what's going on, leave us questions. Anything else?
Bye.
All right, we'll see you.